Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Ep.5 2. In the last part, I forget what happened besides capturing more monkeys, and now... monkeys.
Capturing more monkeys in Enter the Monkey.
Aw, look at that peaceful little training class. So focused, time to disturb it.
Except the red ones are ready to just mess you up.
Yeah, I think I've died to them more than any other monkey throughout the series, barring boss fights, except for specifically the missile-launching monkeys in Ep.5 1. Hate those little bastards. So, this stage has always been fun to me because you need to capture 17 monkeys, which admittedly is most of the ones in the stage period, because there's always going to be some that you'll force to leave behind. But you can get most of them, like at least a third of them, right here off the bat as long as you're good about following where this little training class is going. This stage, I remember getting to on my old Blockbuster rentals back in the day, but I don't remember getting much further than this after that. I'm not sure if that just means I didn't get past it or what, though.
That was a good double capture, just saying.
There's a couple of opportunities you can do that in this one. Funnily enough, one of the ones you could do it back in Ep.5 1 is in a very similar looking area in the Japan stage, like the feudal Japan stage. But there's not many times you can. I think a big limiter on that in this one compared to Ep.5 1 is that in Ep.5 1, as long as you were rotating the net and it managed to hit something, it would probably capture, but in this you do actively need to hit it with a swing.
Oh, Pippachi! Where have you been? Everyone's been so worried about you. Oh, Professor! I found Pippachi, and he's fine.
Good work.
I'm gonna take him with me on the adventure.
Very well. You just be careful out there.
Now I can go back
Let's get
together.
going.
I need to roll for my SSRs, Jimmy. I spent $700 trying to get Don hung, but I just kept getting fucked.
I didn't know the professor's playing Honkai Star Rail.
He's really a Kafka stan, but he's not going to tell the little kid that. I do find it funny how in Ep.5 1, like, the professor was all, like, against the kids time traveling to begin with, but at this point he's like, well, it's happened.
Shit's fucked. Go solve it.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's... I was about to say something along the lines of, like, oh, well, what's he gonna do? But it's like, he does make the gadgets, and I think he actually is playable in one of the games.
Maybe the... yeah, either one of, like, the PSP games, or maybe... was he playable in Pumped and Primed? There were a lot of playable characters in that game. Like, you had the Ep.5 1 cast, the Ep.5 2 cast, I think the 3 cast was in there slightly. At least the Peepatrons were.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think they're from that first even. But I forget what the professor was. I know there was a weird as hell but cool as hell superhero Spectre skin where he was basically a supervillain that was just completely nuts. That's a game I might tackle at some point in the channel, but I'm not sure how I would begin to tackle that because it's sort of a Mario Party clone.
Yeah.
By and large, if there's an obstacle that looks like you can't interact with in the game stages early on, it's best to just ignore it because it either involves a later gadget that you don't have yet, like I think there's some things you need the banana rang for in stages before that, or even some of the later tools, but also there's, similarly to Ep.5 1, a tool you're gonna get more or less after the first run of the game stages is done that is required for some of the monkeys. So something I did as a kid when I got stuck in later stages was try to go back and catch monkeys I couldn't catch before. There's just some you aren't able to until basically endgame.
Yeah. It basically, I feel like they did it that way just to make it, like, more replayable.
Yeah, like, combination of that, combination of them maybe wanting... I'm not going to say wanting you to do a second run no matter what, even though there are some cases that's still no matter what, because there's going to be some stages down the line where we only caught all but one monkey. But I guess maybe to just add that layer of mystique and what you're going to need for that down the line.
Yeah, and it does unlock some pretty neat areas when you can get there.
Yeah, it also could factor in maybe to the returning time trial mode we'll talk more about at the end of the LP. Because, like, the Ape Escape 1 stuff, I do that, I'll be mostly off-screen. Oh, but here's another one of my least favorite monkeys to catch. I hate the runners!
They're so fast! And they don't even have a bike like Monkey Blue does.
You can make them trip up every here and there, and I think there's some of them you can bait around with the banana rang or things like that, or you could use the RC car to bait them into you, period. It just doesn't work out for the best. They're probably the monkey you want to use the stun club on the most, more than anything, because even as a kid I didn't use the stun club a lot for monkeys, I only used it for the standard enemy types. But, no, you really are meant to use it to stun the monkeys and then catch them with the net.
Yep, so give them a good bonk on the noggin.
Dame Bramage. No, since it's been 2 weeks since we did the last session, I may have made that exact joke then. Knowing me. I'm known to reuse jokes. I think back when I did Max Payne, I said satisfying when I hit a guy with the Molotov like 4 times and 3 of them were cut out.
Also, that's just funny that the monkey was in a kung fu outfit, but he had a gun.
Well, yeah, the practicer of gun kata. It is always satisfying seeing all the monkeys you catch get grouped up like that at the end of a longer stage, though.
Definitely. Feels good.
Pippachi, you really had us worried.
Pippachi wanted to be with you, Jimmy.
He told you that in the first place, I think.
Bit weird that they just kind of left Pippachi there, but, well, that might come into play later, probably, I think.
Ooh, this is one of my favorite stages. Like, I just love the music here, and, like, I just love the aesthetic, too.
I think it's pretty, the music's catchy. This is one of my least favorite stages in the game. And it mostly comes down to, this is one of the more linear stages in the game. It does loop back around itself towards the back end of it. But to get to, say, like on a second run down the line, towards monkeys you missed at the end of the stage, it's like a 3 to 4 minute plus walk through the same stage stuff again that you have to re-platform around, and it just doesn't feel quite so good to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
One of my favorite monkeys in the game visually is here, though, even though it's literally the most annoying monkey in the game to catch. Although I think I do that on the second run of it, if memory serves. I'll give Ape Escape 2 this. It does vary up the aesthetics a lot more from Ape Escape 1. There's a lot more fantastical stuff going on here than just historical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to think, what's the most fantastical Ape Escape 1 gets? And I'm thinking it's probably anything in, like, the first world where it's like, here's the dinosaurs, or the... You know what? It's probably the Jabba Jabu's Belly look-alike area in, that was like the 3rd or 4th stage of that game, I think, where you go inside the one dinosaur.
You know, just thinking about it, looking at all these stages that are monkey-themed, how quickly did these monkeys sort this all out?
It could be a thing of, like, we could only time travel to the approximate time they had, so they could have been here for like a year or two getting stuff done.
True.
There's a joke here to be made about the ending to the Tim Burton... Was it Tim Burton? Whoever did the first Planet of the Apes redo in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s with... Was that Mark Wahlberg, I think?
I'm honestly not sure.
Huh, not a great movie. I'm not a big fan of most of the Planet of the Apes stuff, but that movie especially was just kind of rough. Alright. This is a little bit of an annoying mini-boss that you could have already run into back in the stage with... it was the first stage where we had the hula hoop. I actually forget the name of the stage itself.
Oh, the one that was, like, based around Spain.
Yes. This bull is gonna charge at you, and you just sort of have to outrun it until it gets tired. in my brain, you can catch up to its ass and hit it there and do damage beforehand, but I'm thinking of the second lap if you do all the stages first, because the new tool allows you to do that.
Oh, and look, they gave it the same monkey head monitor on its back.
The Peepo helmet is just such an iconic thing. I'm really surprised how little Sony relies on it iconography-wise, even in other stuff. Like, there's the occasional reference here and there, but not too many.
No, and it's honestly surprising.
Yeah, because, like, since the DualShock is still the basis for all of the modern controllers Sony makes, including the DualSense, I'm really surprised they haven't really aimed hard on it. I think the last time they referenced it outright in a first-party title that was meant to be a direct reference instead of, like, just a developer sneaking in a cheeky one was Astro's Playroom when that launched with the PS5, because there's just a couple of other Astrobots with helmets on. And I think there's one even with Spike's haircut.
And wasn't Spike put into the Super Smash Bros. Version of PlayStation games?
Oh, All-Stars Battle Royale,
Yeah.
yeah, Spike was in there, so were two Cole McGraths, Raiden from Metal Gear
Sly
Rising.
Cooper.
That game had such missed potential.
Yeah!
And I think most of it comes down to the reliance on the special moves. Okay, I said this is one of my least favorite stages, and I still stand by that mechanically, but one of my favorite visuals in the game is this room coming up right here.
Oh, yes. Yes, I love this part too.
As a kid, I thought you couldn't get this monkey until way later, but no, you can get them now.
He's got a little mermaid tail.
I feel like that's a thing that makes the monkeys really feel good to catch as well. Like, even as early as Ape Escape 1, they do it a bit, but Ape Escape 2 really goes in on this. There's a lot of monkeys that have, like, one-off special designs or little variants, like mermaid tails. There was the Mona Lisa one back in that one stage earlier in the game. They go real hard on giving them a lot more personality here. And that extends even to the radars mechanic, if memory serves.
Yes.
Because in Ape Escape 1, they had blurbs, but it was just like, likes mango. Whereas in this, they give you, like, full sentences. Yeah, the way this giant room looks with the giant whale statue, it's so good. It's one of the few rooms I think of when I just think of the PS2.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, things that come to mind immediately when I think of the PS2 are this, half of the stages from Ape Escape 3, because that really is one of the games I played the most on the system. The opening of Final Fantasy X, the boss of the second world of Sly 3, and looks over at my library. Lego Star Wars as a whole, as well as Artanelico 1 as a whole. See why I always have the hula hoop around? It just really makes things go faster, even though you get that ear-grating sound pretty commonly.
Oh, here's another fun invention.
The submarine. This thing's a little clunky.
Yeah, it really is.
Because if memory serves, in order to sync, you have to press the analog sticks in, right?
I believe so. It has the same controls as the rowboat and the robot. So it's a little awkward.
Oh no, pushing the analog stick in is the punch, that's right. You just have to aim up and down with the right stick, and it doesn't feel the greatest. There's points like that where controlling like a twin stick shooter feels good, in times where it doesn't, and this is, I think, the latter. You can tell at the end of the day that yes, these games had a long legacy, but they were ultimately originally meant to be a tech demo for the DualShock when that first launched on the PlayStation 1.
Even just thinking about it, I'm kind of reminded that there was a point where Ape Escape fans were really excited because a Twitter account, or well, back when it was known as Twitter.
The site formerly known as Twitter, just like Prince.
Yep. An account was made. Nobody knew what it was for. An account was made. It didn't really have anything on it. but it was Ape Escape themed. And people had like inklings that it was for the anniversary coming up.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, and then like because there was like I think they started tweeting like a lot of stuff related to the game, and then one day it was just gone.
Yeah, I think that was for like the 20th anniversary, like right before or right after the start of the pandemic, I want to say.
Yeah, and I do remember feeling very disappointed when I found out that the account was deleted.
Yeah, it's sad that the closest thing we've gotten to any kind of anniversary releases for this game, barring I think like some shirts, is the releases of the first game on that PlayStation 5 thing last year or so.
The gadgets can be used for many things, even some that you might not expect. Be creative.
You don't say.
Then Jimmy puts the net on his head.
And a monkey saw that, and then they got ideas for the third game. Oh no. Now this is a stage I really like.
Oh, this one! Yes! This one is also very fun. And maybe it's because I have Persona 5 on the brain, but I'm just remembering Futaba's palace.
Now you see, I remember a very specific episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime.
Makes sense, makes sense.
What I like about this stage is it's one of the more linear ones, but there's two paths you can go on, and I think if you want to get even just the monkeys you need to go, you can just grab the couple that are in the starting room and then head into the main pyramid. But I like going on the side path first just to vary it up a little bit. But I always remember as well, there's I think a pretty easy to get extra life in this stage. I forget. It's in this room somewhere. I think you need to like platform on these boxes on top of these pillars. And then over to the monkey statues surrounding the entrance? And then I think it's like on one of their heads. Guess we'll see right here. Oh no, he won't.
After you take out the monkey.
Greetings, Stu. You have lost control of your life indeed.
Just an Ape Escape parody of like, what are you doing up at 4 a.m.?
Ow! What? You know what? I do wonder actually, because the comics are in 2 and 3. I wonder what comics they would do nowadays, considering how memes and comedy has evolved over the era.
Oh, given how 3 is a bunch of parodies of movies and TV, there would definitely be like either meme replicas or like attempts at making memes, or even just making jokes about them.
Me and the boys at 3 a.m. getting bananas. I could definitely see a level already for Ep.5 down the line, not even 4 or 5 when they make 2 games away from us, where there's Simian Game, that's a giant Squid Game parody.
Oh my goodness, could you imagine? They could do so many dark jokes there.
The red light, green light girl machine is also controlled by a monkey, and you need to slap it in the back of the head several times. Hire me, Sony. I guess that's also part of the reason why I'm thinking about it, though. We haven't really seen much from this series. If memory serves, the studio that developed these games, which I think was Japan Studio, has since been shut down by Sony directly.
Oh, so it's like they still own the IP, they just don't have anyone to develop it.
Yeah, which is weird considering they have supposedly, and this is kind of going to be out of date slightly by the time this gets uploaded, they supposedly have like 10 plus live service games a la Destiny planned and in development, one of which even is also still by Bungie with the new Marathon game. And I'm just like, yo, that don't chase the infinite money, it never works out.
Unfortunately, they don't learn.
Yep. Looking at you, Unity CEO. Hopefully that situation's better by the time this gets uploaded.
Yep.
And here's hoping also that the strikes are over by the time this gets uploaded.
Yep.
They probably won't be because I don't trust executives.
Just pay people what they're worth.
Please.
Please, we're begging. That monkey's slapping his butt at you.
Well, take that, Jimbo. Now you're in the net. What do you gotta do now, huh? Alright, another idea. Ape.5 4 down the line. They take inspiration from 20 years ago Sega. Chow Garden, but with the monkeys you capture.
I mean, they do look like they live in a Chow Garden in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and like you could have Pippachi be the black market Chow from Sonic Adventure 1. I mean, I know I say that, but I'm the guy who doesn't interact much with the Chow Garden, but it would still be kind of funny.
Pippochi just with a little trench coat. People. Opens it, reveals a banana. Oh god, that sounded a lot worse than it should have.
Oh, no!
I
See, I was gonna make a drug joke where one of the bananas is just glass with some white powder in it that's just like dried banana chunks, but they snort it up and like, okay.
No, no! Oh my god, no!
completely
You know
dark
what?
directions.
You know what he could sell? That banana medicine for kids.
Oh god, that stuff tastes like shit.
I used to love it. It tasted like banana candy.
I didn't like the taste of banana candy growing up because it never tasted like bananas, and of course then I eventually learned the whole banana political revolution mixed with pandemic thing where an entire species of banana was wiped out in the early 1900s.
Wow.
Never forget, people, Chiquita was involved in an entire overthrowing of a democratic nation. And now we're in a Mario Galaxy stage.
Yep.
There's something I appreciate Ape.5 3 for, because Ape.5 1 and 2 blend the stealth and platforming, but sometimes it feels like one gets more focus than the other, and it never feels quite right. 3 having an entire minigame just dedicated to the stealth went a long way for helping that feel a little better, even if it was largely just a parody of a certain crossover.
Yep.
But that's that stage down. You might notice the fire on screen. Keep that in mind for later. But with that, we're gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 6, we're gonna catch more monkeys. See you guys then.
Bye-bye.